everyone, my name is Alina and today I'm going to show you my everyday makeup routine. So I'm going to show you how to get a natural look, and this look would work for everyone. You don't need perfect skin. As you can see, I have a lot of acne scars and issues going on. Because you know, when you watch a lot of YouTubers, they have like flawless skin, and most of the time I don't even think they need makeup. But today you get to see this face. So let's get started. And we're gonna start off with moisturizing, and I like to use the Neutrogena Hydro Boost in SPF 50. This is a great cheap SPF. Makes solid noises as well. As you can see, I'm running low. This SPF is actually great for people of color because it doesn't give you a white cast, and I know a lot of the drugstore ones happen to do that. Okay, well, ignore those noises. We'll just keep trucking along. So just rub that in. And if you do have acne scars, SPF is very important to wear. I know I slacked off on that for a solid 20 years of my life. You know, got it now. That's all that matters. So for foundation, we're going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. This is a super popular foundation. It works for a lot of different skin types, and I'm just going to use it with a beauty blender. By the way, I'm in shade 310 Sun Beige. Okay. I'm just gonna dot this on my face. When you do have acne scars and a lot of texture on your face, you don't want to cake it up because you might think that's going to hide it, but all that's going to do is draw more attention to all the texture on your face. This foundation isn't like super full coverage. It gives you a pretty natural finish. You could add more layers and, you know, smack it on, paint it on your face, but we're gonna go for a pretty medium coverage look. So as you can see, it does a pretty decent job of covering dark spots and discoloration, but if you do have any extra spots that are bothering you, you can add concealer on top. So for that, I'm gonna use the Becca Aqua Luminous, and I'm in the color, literally no idea, tan. I'm in the color tan. I'm just gonna add it a little bit here. I'm also gonna use this under my eyes. I'm gonna add a little bit of the Colourpop concealer in the shade Golden 30. Well, it was called Golden 40, but now it's medium dark 32. I'm gonna add a little bit of that, like under the eyes, because this one has great coverage. So and my under eyes are pretty dark. And we're just gonna blend that in with the same beauty blender. I realize my beauty blender is not the cleanest. Let's be real, most people do not wash these things daily. Unless you do and you think I'm gross, well. So we got a pretty good base going on here. And next we're gonna add a little of bronzer to the face. So as I mentioned before, I don't like to add too much like cakiness to my face because of acne scars. So I like to use a cream bronzer. So for that, I'm using the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the color Mocha. You could go darker if you're around my skin tone. I know a lot of people use, I think it's called Truffle, but I like to have a pretty natural finish. So I just rub it on the brush like this. I used to put a streak on my face, but I watched a video with Rihanna's makeup artist, and she said she doesn't like to do that, so I don't do it either. So if you can see, it gives like a pretty natural shadow. It's not too much darker than my natural skin tone, but that's how I like it. And the great thing about this matchstick is that it does dry to a somewhat powder finish. It doesn't actually look that powdery on the skin, but you don't have to set it. And we're gonna add some to the bottom here, you know, to hide all those chins. Do I look skinnier? So for blush, we're gonna use the Nars liquid blush. It's in the color Dolce Vita. It's a really nice rosy tone, and this one should also work for a lot of skin tones. So I just pump like the tiniest amount onto the back of my hand and just dab it on. You can just blend it in. with your fingers. I used to avoid blush because I thought it would draw too much attention to my acne scars, but you know, there's only so much you could hide them anyways, and I like having a little flush of color to my face. If you got a little crazy with it, you can just blend it out, just blend out the edges. Okay, now we're just gonna set our under eyes. I normally don't use loose setting powder because I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of lazy, and if I'm like running to work or something, I'm not about to whip out a whole thing of powder and then tap it off and stuff. So I use pressed powder. We're using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte in the color 500 Sun Beige. So I don't powder my skin too much. I just do my under eyes and the T-zone. Like right here I get really oily. So for the eyes, we can do something super subtle, because for an everyday makeup look, I'm not really going to do like a whole eyeshadow look. I'm going to use the color Rebel from the Tartelette in Bloom palette. And Rebel is just like I guess it's like a mauvey brown. How do people do this? Okay, Rebel is just like a mauvey brown right there. So I'm just going to put that in my crease, just to give it a little bit of definition. See, so this makes it look like you actually put in some effort. Now we're gonna take Funny Girl. It's just a light champagne-y shade, and we're gonna use it as an inner corner highlight. So I just pop it on my pinky finger and just put it in the inner corner. And this just, you know, wakens your eyes a little bit. Just blend it out so, you know, you don't look psychotic. So up next, we're going to use a little bit of highlighter. I do have a lot of texture, and I tend to have a lot like right here on my temples. So I don't like to do the normal, like, you know, highlight thing where people make that C shape over here. But I do like to use a little bit on my nose and some other areas. So I'm using the color Wisp by Colourpop. So this, I'll take it on my fingers and I'll put some down my nose and a little bit on my Cupid's bow over here. So basically the rule of thumb is if you do have texture and scarring, just avoid where you have a lot of scars, and the other areas, you know, highlight away. So I put a little bit under my brow bone. I know some people like to do it like up here too, so why not? The next I'm gonna just fill in my brows a little bit. I don't do too much to them. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the color Ebony. I broke the end off, so we have a separate spoolie to help us out. I don't have very much filling in to do, so I just like to do a pretty natural brow. So brows are done, and now we're going to do some mascara. So for mascara, I'm using the L'Oreal Voluminous Original in Carbon Black. To finish off this look, I'm going to use the Bite Beauty lipstick in the color Chai. And this is actually the lipstick that came in the Sephora birthday gifts this year. So if you haven't signed up for those, you should. It's completely free. Okay, so here is the finished look. So I think it did a pretty good job of hiding some of the acne scars and not bringing too much attention to them. And you know, if your skin's not perfect, makeup isn't gonna make it look perfect. But you know, we try our best to look less hideous. We gotta work with what we got. That's my inspirational message for the day. And thanks for checking out my video.